So everyone, my name is Reno. I'm the one and only brother of the bride. I've known China for 28 years, but I've only really liked her for maybe 5 of them. It's really nice to see all of you here from all around the world. Thank you for showing up. I know it took us 2 years, but we're here. It only took us 8 years to get here, and then of course the pandemic prolonged it 2 years. I mean, I guess you guys both kind of said screw it and got married over a year ago technically, but we're here. This is, in fact, the first time that I've ever attended a wedding twice for the same couple without them ever having gotten a divorce. Before we get started, I know this may be a little bit inconvenient for some, but can I ask you a huge favor and have everyone please stand up and get off their seat for a minute? Try to make some space if you can. We're going to do a little small activity here.
More dancing.
Wow, I didn't expect everyone to stand up. So can I have everyone please take one step to your left, and then one step to your right, and then one step backwards, and finally one step forward. All right, you can take your seats. Thank you for participating. So you're probably wondering, what was the purpose of that? I'm going to be honest, there was actually no point to any of that, except the fact that I now expect to see all of you on the dance floor tonight for the Tory Cha-Cha slide. Almost everyone participated, so that's what I'm expecting. All right, moving on. So I know we're here to celebrate China and Pat, but I'll be honest. When I saw the menu for the Mailanji and the ceremony before, it was only then that I was like, okay, this wedding might actually be worth attending. To be honest, China and I were never really that close growing up. In fact, we despised each other. Then again, I don't blame her, as she was kind of that left out child who, you don't really know who liked her, given my dad's favorite was Sarah and my mom's favorite was me. China knew from a young age that she wanted out of Chicago in pursuit of someone to actually love her. She left for Syracuse and then DC, followed by New York City. But no, wait, that still was not far enough. So she made her way all the way across the pond. It was not until she left for the East Coast, realizing that she had no intentions of coming back, that I actually started to kind of miss her presence for some odd, peculiar reason. In a way, China represented our family. Our parents would always send her to family functions, weddings, conventions, you name it. She thrived in both her social life and career, largely due to her people skills and unique ability to easily connect with whoever she came in contact with. Now enter Pat. If you know him, you know he thrives when talking to others and is the first person you'd want on your trivia team from how knowledgeable he is. With Pat being a history buff and China being an international relations major, it's no surprise that their combined love of talking politics and spilling tea led them to a several-hour-long first date. So if you know China, like Sarah actually mentioned, and we did not prepare these speeches together, there's just several common themes that come around when talking about China, and that's spicy food. So, I don't know if you guys know, but China can actually handle her spice really quite well. I used to have a pretty low tolerance growing up, and was always really jealous of the way China was able to handle her spice. And so it kind of became a competition between the two of us. And I remember we once went to this Thai restaurant when we were younger with some of our family friends. And before we got our meal, China decided she saw all the spicy chilies and sauces laying on the dinner table and decided why not just combine them and make this concoction so that she can hand this over to me and just dare me to eat this concoction and see if I would be willing to take it. She dared me to eat it in one gulp to prove my worth. As one never willing to say no to a dare or back off from an offer like that, I just accepted and said, let's go for it. Let's just say my tongue went completely numb for the whole night, and I didn't even get to enjoy the actual food when it arrived. But it was so worth it because my tolerance grew tenfold as a result, so thank you, Shannon. So we lived in a suburban neighborhood that happened to have a decent amount of kids our age. that made for a lot of fun summer days and nights playing games like Ghost in the Graveyard, Sardines, and Capture the Flag. As one of the youngest in the bunch, I was taken full advantage of given how gullible I was. So let me set up the scene real quick. It was circa 2002 and Osama bin Laden was on the loose. I don't remember what it was, but probably one too many crime shows that made me have this terrible notion that bin Laden was on the quest to find me and kidnap me with his other terrorist cronies. During the summers, there would be these trucks that came up our street that mirrored a Ghostbusters vehicle and made this ominous noise as they drove up with these flashing lights. Being a naive child, I believed whatever my older sisters and neighbors said. So Shaina and our neighbor Brad would tell me to take cover and hide underneath the couch whenever the truck passed our house in the evenings during that summer, because the Taliban was after me. They said they would let me know when the ghost was clear so then I can come out from hiding. Trembling in fear, I hid anxiously underneath their living room couch with my hands over my ears in the fetal position. 30 minutes passed, and still no sign of Shaina or Brad. It was not until Sarah and Brad's sister Kate came by to let me know that I can finally come out. Let's just say this happened multiple times over the course of the summer, so I finally ended up finding the truth. But no, Osama bin Laden was not in Wheaton, Illinois, trying to hunt me down. It was just a truck that sprayed mosquito repellent. For most kids, Saturdays were the days kids could sleep in and catch up on sleep. In our household, we dreaded Saturday mornings because it consisted of our dad waking us all up at 7 a.m. to begin our Saturday morning chores. Luckily, he would enter Sarah and Shaina's room first, which gave me a few extra minutes of sleep. He'd start by ripping the sheets off of them and then come over to my room to do the same. And then he would leave and come back with a cup of water and sprinkle it on us if you still weren't up. Now, if that didn't work, he'd then go to his large collection of sticks that he had above the showcase in the living room. And then we'd definitely be up by then. So what Shaina taught us to do was act like we were getting up when he opened the door for the first time, so he wouldn't bother us further. And then we'd start walking down towards the door, acting like we were gonna go to the bathroom to brush our teeth, before then locking the door and jumping back into bed. Now this only bought us a few extra minutes of sleep, because my dad had this collection of Q-tips with the cotton swabs taken off one of the ends that he used to unlock the door, but it was totally worth the extra sleep. I'm happy to say, Shaina, but I think you leaving Chicago was the best thing to ever happen to you, because we got closer as a result, and you actually found someone to love you. You've always been someone I can rely on for practical life advice, resume reviews, and enjoyable car ride conversations, yet quite interesting. Pat, as I've got to know you better over the years, I've felt a stronger connection as of late especially, while we're both living abroad and just able to share some of our stories and experiences with each other. I'm happy to call you a brother, and I'm excited for the adventures that lay ahead. So let's live it up tonight and make sure no one leaves the celebration with an Irish goodbye. Cheers to a lifetime of prosperity, commitment, and responsibility. I love you both. Mom made me say that so I can still be her favorite.